What's up, guys? It's your boy Reezy, chilling in the warehouse today. Check out that fly mask that Rosa made me from the vintage Pac-Man sheets. Today I want to tell you guys a story about how I found this rare $300 to $500 book in a Gaylord. This book is incredibly rare, so stay tuned.
Reezy Resells. Follow the hustle.
So last week I watched a webinar with Caleb Roth, the book flipper, and Steve Eisenstein. Steve Eisenstein is an antiquarian book dealer, he specializes in old books. I learned a lot watching his thing. I'll put a screenshot from it right here, and I'll put a link in the description to the Facebook video. I think it's also on YouTube on Caleb's channel. You guys can watch that and learn a lot about old books. But I watched it and I got super juiced off of it. And so when I came back to work on Monday following that, especially since Amazon opened back up and my team decided to come back and we're working, right? I just kept telling myself, today I'm gonna find some pre-ISBN gold, some super duper pre-ISBN gold. And lo and behold, I found this book, The Secrets of Stradivari. This book was printed in 1979. This is a first American edition. The first edition of this book was printed in Italy. This book is about Stradivarius or Stradivari and how he makes his violins or his instruments and all of the detailed stuff about it. This book is extremely rare. Let's look at it real quick. As you can see, the condition of this book is immaculate for a book printed in 1979, which means it's about 41 years old or maybe almost 42. I mean, look at the dust jacket. There's not even rips on the dust jacket. It's just very immaculate. There's no little rips anywhere. There's no creases. There's no corner curlings, nothing. Everything here is just so super duper perfect. And let's look inside the book. Let's look at the information. Look how pristine this is, guys. Like, I had to wash my hands before I touched this book. And for those of you that are worried about wearing gloves, if you watch Steve Eisenstein's webinar he did with Caleb, people don't wear gloves anymore to go through books. You're actually at higher risk of damaging the pages. There was a study done. So this, you see, Libreria del Convegno, Cremona, 1979. Let's get some more detail here. Title of the original work, Segrete di Stradivari, Libreria del Convegno, Cremona, 1972. So the original copy was in Italian. Copyright Simone F. Sacconi. Let's see. And it goes right into the book. So let's go to the back. Usually there's some information there when there's not a lot in the front. Okay, so here you go. Printed in Cremona, Italy, July 1979. And this book is just immaculate. Everything in here is perfect. You couldn't ask for a more perfect thing. There's microscopic pictures of the wood. It talks about the varnish, all kinds of stuff. Look at these color plates. This is a beautiful book about a super niche subject, which is building instruments. And I was so unaware of the level of geometry that goes into making instruments. It is insane. The physics and the geometry of it. It's like you were not only a musician and a fine craftsman, you were also like a mathematician to be able to make these things. Let me see if I can find some particularly cool looking pictures. There's some pictures of the scrolls. Let's see. My wife was looking at this. Okay, look, here's some detailed work. Okay, look at this scroll right here. I think that's what it's called. Imagine that being the top of your violin. This is a Stradivari carving of the neck of the cittern from 1700 in the Paris Conservatory collection. That is insane. Look at that. That's insane. That's some royalty stuff right there. But this book was seconds away from ending up in the landfill. Literally seconds. So we buy thousands and thousands of pounds, 40,000 pounds of books at a time from our supplier. We pay about 7 cents a pound, and they scan everything. They go through the books and take out what's worth money, or at least what they know is worth money, and we get what's left. We're still able to make a good profit off what's left. And this book today is one of the better finds from a Gaylord. It's probably the most rarest book that we found in the last 6 months. Now, the reason this almost ended up in the landfill is because it doesn't have a barcode and it doesn't have an ISBN. And in our bulk warehouse, we have a policy for pre-ISBN books. That is, if it doesn't have an ISBN barcode, throw it into the trash. Not to the trash, but to the recycling or the discard pile for the books, which is picked up by our book recycler. Now, that has some ifs, ands, ors, and buts. So throw it into the trash unless it's about a niche subject, right? In this case, it's violin manufacturing, instrument making, or you just think it's worth money, or it's pretty, or it's from a notable author. There's all of these different reasons that the employees or myself know to maybe give one of these books a second look, because this is what we call in the book selling world a title search. You have to look it up by title. That's the only way you can find out about this book. And if you look on eBay, you look this book up right now, there is no current listing for this book, but there is some recent sold listings ranging from about $250 to $400. Now, I would list this maybe at $500 at least, and maybe as much as $750 and just sit on it. There is no reason to sell this book quickly. It is only going up in value. Only going up, promise you. There's someone on Amazon listing this, and I'll put some screenshots on the screen so you guys can see these sold items and I'm not just making it up. Someone on Amazon is selling this for $1,000 and they have it listed as new. Now, I don't think it's new because they don't come in plastic. I mean, I bet you their condition is similar to this condition and they're just saying new, right? Because a lot of people sell used as new, which I don't recommend anybody do that. But this book is very special. Someone will appreciate this, and it makes my stomach turn how close it got to ending up in the landfill, and also makes me think about how much stuff that's valuable, not just books and desired by people, that's rare in this world, that ended up in the landfill, right? So it kind of gives me some pride to know that I saved this item from going to the landfill. This is going to get purchased from someone for $300 to $500, maybe even as much as $750. I might list it for like $800 or $900 or best offer, and then just take a million pictures and put it up on eBay. By the way, eBay is the place to sell these types of books, not Amazon. You don't want to list rare collectible books on Amazon. List them on eBay, okay? I can only imagine there's not a lot of copies of this book printed. And you think about the person who's going to buy this to spend $300, $500, or $700 for this book. The person who buys this is prestigious. They are either a professional violinist, they are either a college professor that teaches violin, they are maybe a musical instrument collector or a rare book collector, or maybe they are a luthier. That's a person that makes instruments. And if you want to learn how to make instruments, this is an amazing resource that I bet is a staple for any luthier in their book collection. But you know, if you play a violin, especially if you're lucky enough to have a Stradivari original one, because even the copies of his are worth a lot of money, you might want this book in your collection. So just a heads up to you guys, if you find books that are worth niche subjects, right, and they're old, especially if they're about music, right? Look them up. There's all kinds of different niche subjects that are worth lots of money, and you can't spend your time looking up everything. But when you come across a book that's about a niche subject, or it's beautiful, or it's a title from an author that you recognize, maybe consider putting it to the side, and then on a weekend when you have some extra time, go through them all and look them up on eBay, look them up on Alibris, and try and see if it's worth any money. You might be pleasantly surprised to find that you found a $300 to $500 book in a box of trash, literally, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised to find this for $1 at a yard sale or a garage sale. And in fact, I'll put a screenshot right here. Someone in my Facebook group, when I posted that I found this in my Facebook group, said that they found one and that they were the spike on the Keepograph, so they were the last person that sold it. And they said they sold it for $300 and they had bought it at a Savers for a few bucks, which is really, really cool. So just something that I wanted to share with you guys as a bookseller. It doesn't happen every day. This is an amazing, amazing find. And I can't say that I would have looked this up if I wouldn't have married a string instrument player. Luckily, my wife, Rosa, plays and teaches string instrument. She's actually graduating college this year. She plays viola, not the violin, commonly confused. So I've heard this instrument maker's name many, many times. And in fact, I'll put another little clip here from my family vlog, the last year's trip to Europe back in August of 2019. We went to a museum in Florence, Italy, and we saw an original Stradivari violin, and that thing was not cheap. I'm not going to say what it was worth because I don't remember offhand, but I'll put picture or a video clip right here overlaid on top of this one from that video. I don't have the original violin, but we do have the original rare book. This is not the most expensive book that I've ever found or sold. I sold a $700 book titled Inbreeding Horses for Superior Traits. It's about inbreeding horses to make better racing horses, right? So that book is also pretty amazing. amazing. Sold it to a farm on the last day of the year. Probably bought it as a tax expense type situation. But yeah, this is one of the exciting things about being a bookseller. Now, our average sales price is like $12.50, $13, and our average profit is like $3.50, right? So all of these books that you see behind me on this stack, on average, they all equal about $3.50 for us when all the dust settles. But there is some rare unicorns like this, and I figured I would just share this, guys, with you, how I found a super rare $300 to $500 treasure, literal treasure right here that I found. Super amazing and exciting. If you guys like the video, please like it and press subscribe and stay tuned to the channel so you guys can learn more about selling books. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know anything about selling books, make sure you check out this video that shows you everything I know about how to sell books. It's a longer video, but it's literally every single thing I know about selling books, and I know you will learn something. So stay tuned to the channel. Check out the next video. I appreciate you watching. Drop a comment down below if you have anything to add to the conversation about rare antiquarian books or me finding this book. And as always, guys, remember, if you ain't flipping, you slipping. Peace.
You'll get strangled to death as I mangle your flesh. Lights on, Nikon, which angle is best? I put you in the frame and let you hang with the rest. Call it photo finish as we diminish your last breath. And if the Sabbath is the day of the Lord, then my style of rap is like the way of the sword. Better sharpen your blade, I'm coming straight for your door. I see the devil in your